name is Christina. I'm here to go over my take home challenge and talk about like my what the problem is and my approach in Roblox that I encountered. So, with this problem, I had to write out pseudocode, a description of steps I would take to solve this challenge, then try to solve it in the code, declare a variable of name and initialize it to the string of my name, create an array of vowels that contains all of the vowels A, E, I, O, and U, and using for loops to iterate through all the letters in my name to create a new string variable with the vowels capitalized and make sure I come up with ways to test my code. So the first things that I wrote down were to declare a variable of let of my name, Christina. And I chose that because I knew that as my code went on that I might have to change some of the characters in there. And I know that in comparison constant, which I use to declare vowels, the variable vowels, and I initialize that to the array of A, E, I, O, and U as stated, so that I can, because that's unchangeable, and I know that those vowels are not changing. Um, so then in my pseudocode, I wrote create a new string variable where the capitalized values name string goes, and this actually was something that I started to do after I kind of like got not sidetracked but kind of got like stuck for a second, because as I was reading it I did the first thing, the second thing, and then I thought to go right into the for loop because that was the third thing that was said, but then at the end it was like create a new string variable with the vowels capitalized. So after I kind of got stuck at not having this new string variable, and I was just like, man, why is this not working? I was like, boom, I have to create, like they said, a new string variable for the vowels to go when they're capitalized. So I created a let and it called it vowels cap, and I initialized it to just an empty string for right now. Sorry if you can hear the New York City commotion in the background. Next, I wrote in my pseudocode, make a for loop that goes through the name length. And I wrote that I know I want to use dot to uppercase, or maybe it's period to uppercase, to capitalize the vowels when I come across them. And I want to know period to lowercase to compare everything to. Um, Period to lowercase came after period to uppercase because I knew that, like, obviously they said to make the vowels uppercase. So I was going back through the CSS modules. I was like, I remember there was a way to capitalize an item. So I went back through CSS part one and found to uppercase. So I put that in there, and also to lowercase because that could help like even the score. Well, settle even the plane, I guess. So I made a for loop and I let I be the value of 0 because I want it to start from the first letter of my name, and I know that's not 1, that's 0. I want I to be less than the length of my name because I want it to like iterate through the length of my name. So I put that there, and because I want each letter to be put into the for loop, I did I plus plus so that I can go through each and access each letter. In my pseudocode, I put use I in brackets to access each letter because as I went through my first uh, like technical interview or something, I, that was something that was plaguing me. I knew that I wanted to access one character of my name, one character of a string, but I just couldn't remember how to access it. So I made sure that in my pseudocode, I gave myself how to access it just in case they would forget. But after forgetting it, I don't think I'll forget it again. Then I am next. So I made a let I made a initialized a variable of let and called it letter, and had that equal my name and the brackets with I to be able to access each letter. And the reason why I did that was because it was the letters of my name, and so because the brackets allow you to access each letter, I put that to be each letter of my name. So the next in my pseudocode was make letters lowercase and check if vowels are identified for each letter of the name. That way, it could like even the plane, I guess. So I used an if statement. If the vowels, the constant we already initialized as if vowels, and as I was trying to figure out how to be able to look through a whole list of, well, through an array, I ended up Googling how to look through an array and a method of like looking through an array. And I came across a website that was developer.mozilla.org. And it introduced me to the includes statement, which is, it says it was the method of array instances that determines whether an array includes a certain value among its entries. So I use that to say if vowels includes letter, because letter, we already made that to be each letter of my name, to if it includes letters, like make it lowercase, like make everything like lowercase. And then if a vowel is identified, capitalize it and add it to the string of vowels cap that I put there as to put the results. So I put vowels cap, add added to letter, and I use dot uppercase in this sense to be able to uppercase that. And I use dot lowercase for the one before to lowercase it. And then I also added an else statement, because if it's not one of these, if it's not like a vowel, I don't want it to be uppercase. So I wanted to let the code know that if the vowel isn't identified, just add it to the result string as is. And that's what I wrote in my pseudocode. So I just put else vowels cap plus equals letter, so that if it's just like no vowel, then you can just leave it as is. To be able to check my work, because I had already left a results string empty and waiting for the capitalized vowels, I just did my console.log and vowels cap to be able to see if the vowels will come up at the end. And throughout my code, I just did console log to check to make sure that, for example, when I initialized the value to my name, I just did console log dot parentheses name parentheses, just to see, okay, the console log shows my name. When I did vowels, I did the same thing. Okay, the console log shows vowels. When I so for each one, I did that to make sure that when I did get to the end, I wouldn't be met with like a problem that I didn't really flesh out in the beginning. It just helped me stay a bit more on track. I do not mean to minimize the amount of time it took me to be able to find the include statement, because I was really wondering how to look through all of the vowels. And when I looked up kind of how to do that, I was getting functions as an answer. And I know we didn't really go over functions, and so I didn't, and like the functions, it just looked like I needed to know a couple of more steps to be able to put the function into play. So I wanted something that was a bit I would say simpler, that I could add on to my code that I already knew and gleaned from CSX, to be able to make my code like work properly. And so yeah, this is what I came up with. Thank you very much for your time. I hope that I didn't have to like screen share my screen and explain it. If so, please let me know, and I will do another one with just my screen and me talking in the background. But yeah, thank you.